Hi, it's Hope and welcome to the vlog. This is going to be the reading vlog for February 6th through the 12th. But it is currently 8:42 on Sunday the 6th, and I forgot to start this vlog earlier. Like, honestly, if you've seen any of my previous vlogs, I a lot of the time don't update until late in the evening because that's when my brain is able to slow down enough to actually think I should update the vlog. So if I don't update till towards the end of the day, you're not missing out on anything. But for books, I have one book started. I want to talk about a book that I DNF'd last night, and then talk about a book that I'm going to be starting tonight, and what I did today. So the book that I have started and I'm going to be reading a little bit more of tonight, maybe, I don't know, is Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is the second book in the Caraval trilogy, where it's kind of like Caraval is this like epic performance game thing. It's a performance, but it feels more like a game. And we have these two sisters, Scarlett and Tella, who go to Caraval, and Tella gets kidnapped, and for the first game, Scarlett has to find Tella, and now in this one, we are at another Caraval, just at a different place, because it's like a moving game type thing. And how do I even describe what happens in this without spoilers? I have no idea, but I'm currently, 216 pages, and I haven't read this since Friday. This is a buddy read, hence the blue marks. That's where I should be, like, not where I should be, but each day I should be, if you want to be specific, I should be on page, let's pray I don't spoil myself, 212, so I'm about 100 pages behind. Do I want to read this? That's undetermined. I just, like, it's not that it's bad, it's just nowhere near as good as the, first book. I might read yesterday's pages, so I'm only one day behind instead of two. But yeah, and then the ebook last night that I DNF'd, that I mentioned at the end of my last vlog that I would update in this, was Both Me by Jonathan Friesen. This was like a YA contemporary, where we have two people whose luggages get switched, and then Clara, the main character, has to go and get it, and then ends up that's literally all I understand. I DNF'd at 23%. Hated the main character, hated the love interest / second character, hated the writing style. What did I like about it when I DNF'd it? So now on to what I was doing today. Today I was on Clint from Reed's Readers channel doing the Heart Song / Brother Song live, and just overall kind of just discussing the Green Creek series by TJ Klune. And I had so much fun. It was like 2.5 hours of just chatting and all of that, and I loved it. I had so much fun. I edited my vlog today, and that's pretty much it. So I think I'm going to read a little bit of this, and then I will update that, and then I will let you know what my ebook for the night will be. Okay, so it is 5:30 on Monday, and I totally realized at 1 a.m. when I was trying to fall asleep that I didn't update this vlog, and I feel awful. But I did end up reading to Where is Legendary. I read up to page 266. I honestly don't have thoughts. I will be reading more of this tonight. And then I started Resurrection by Siobhan Davis. I'm doing a buddy read with, it was originally supposed to be me and 2 other people, and now I think it's gone up to there 5 of us in total buddy reading it. And this is a dark, bully romance, reverse horror, and we follow this girl named Harlow. And how do I even describe this book, for fuck's sake? Okay, we're just gonna read the description, because I have read the prologue, which, that prologue. We'll get to that in a second. I've read the prologue and the first 2 chapters, and I still don't know what the fuck's going on. So everything changed the night my dad died. The night I met Saint, Galen, Kaz, and Theo. These manipulative a-holes set out to ruin me after our hot night together, but they didn't realize they can't destroy something that is already broken, and it only works if the victim cares, which I don't, because I've been in hell for years and nothing penetrates the steel walls I've erected. The Sainthood decides I belong to them, and cracks appear in my veneer. Their crucial games, harsh words, and rough touch awaken something inside me, and now I'm in trouble. They draw me deeper into their dangerous world until I'm in the middle of violence and gang warfare, tangled up in all the secrets and lies, and there's no turning back because they own me, and nothing has ever felt so right. I'm exactly where I should be. But with enemies on all sides, survival becomes a deadly game with no guarantees, and sometimes saints become sinners. That still doesn't tell me anything the book's about. Wow. But yeah, it's like Harlow gets end up thrown up with these guys called the Sainthood, and are just like, yeah. Prologue. The prologue. The fucking prologue. Oh my god. It took me over half an hour to read the prologue, solely because I had to check multiple times I was reading the right book, because mild spoilers for the prologue. There is a, how many people are involved? There's a foursome in the prologue. I immediately messaged the buddy read, and I was like, so that took me half an hour to read it. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Yeah, it's a book that I'm loving. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I'm loving it, and I love that. Like, I'm honestly like, oh no, am I just gonna is this, like, week just gonna turn into me binge reading this series? Although I'm not sure how we're gonna buddy read it, so, yeah, I just, like, it's so good, but it's, like, trash at the same time, and I love it. I did some schoolwork today. I am currently uploading a vlog. I don't really know what else I'm doing today, but I probably won't update the vlog until later when I read more of Legendary. I will actually update the vlog, I promise. Actually, I don't, because I'll fail, but I'll try to update the vlog on my thoughts. I really want to catch up with that because I'm a day behind, so I want to read yesterday's pages and today's pages and just read as much as I can. So I filmed the video, and then I made it up to page 323 of Legendary, and all I can say really is things are being told, and I feel like some of it's going over my head, which I don't know how I feel. Like, I think I said in my buddy read of this, I was like, so far this is like a 3.5 compared to the first one being 5. That's not amazing. Could be a lot worse, I'll say that. But like, I'm liking it. I don't think I like Tella as much as I like Scarlet. I think that's also part of it. Why is Tella feels more of like diving headfirst in, not giving a crap, and kind of dealing with the consequences after. Where I feel like Scarlet is much more of like, is this a good decision? Should I do this? Should I not? And then there's Tella that's like, oh, I was supposed to make a decision, something just happened, and now I'm dealing with the consequences. I think that's mainly why. I also think I like the main, like I'm trying to figure out how to word it, is like essentially almost like the love interest. I liked the love interest for Scarlet a lot more than the love interest for Tella. But a character that I just love so much in this is Jax. I like the, like, dark, manipulative, twisted, controlling characters. Like the ones that are evil for just the sake of being evil, and that are really just doing whatever they're doing for their sake, not the others. Which is very weird to say, because in real life I'd be like, but in, like, books I'm like, those are the greatest characters to read about because of they're just greedy. It gives them almost more character. So yeah, that's like my thoughts on this. Now I'm going to go and read more of Resurrection, because I honestly have been thinking about that book all day. Do you want to guess what time it is? Because if you guessed 7:50, you're correct. I don't know why I haven't picked up the vlog. I've been up since like 10 o'clock, so there's no excuse. I just didn't want to pick up the vlog till now. Last night though, before I talk about Legendary, last night I read up to, actually don't even ask me what percent I read to, I have no idea. Did I update Goodreads? 63%. I did update Goodreads. 63% of Resurrection, and I think that describes how I'm feeling, is like, I'm really enjoying it, but there's definitely a lot of stuff going on. Some of it makes sense, the other part, like, you really have to suspend your disbelief and throw your morals out the window. But that's why I'm really enjoying it. I said to the buddy read group, I was like, yeah, it's probably gonna be like a 4-star. Rarely give, even though I read so much like romance or dark romance, I rarely give them 5 stars. I think it's because I'm very, very, very picky. But I am enjoying it. I will be finishing it tonight. Whatever. And then I'm currently reading Legendary. I'm now up to page 359. Definitely not going to finish it, although I do want to reach the next section. And then, yeah. That's kind of where I'm at. I think I literally have 1 chapter left till I get to the next section. So I'll quickly do that. Honestly, I probably won't have any thoughts on it, because this book, I'm literally just kind of like, can I get this shit done? Not in a bad way of like, I'm not enjoying it, but I'm just like, not enjoying it. I hate, like, I'm like, it's a 3.5 at this point, but honestly, if things don't start picking up and being more understandable, it's gonna be a 3-star. Like, if you give me like a twist at the end or something, that could bring it up to a 4. But as of right now, it's a 3.5. So yeah. Yeah, it's been like 5 minutes. I read to chapter 35 or page 368, and I don't want to read more of this. I don't know if it is that I just, like, I don't want to read fantasy right now, which terrifies me, because I'm going to be reading House of Earth and Blood and House of Sky and Breath later this month, which are 2 huge, chunky, like, adult fantasy novels. So I think it could either be my brain is trying to conserve energy for those, or I'm just falling into a fantasy slump, or I'm just not liking this. I have no idea. I'm gonna try to update when I finish Resurrection. I'm also gonna try to, like, one thing I really want to start doing is having the camera be somewhere other than here. But then the lighting's terrible, so I need to figure that shit out. I feel awfully, anytime I'm editing these videos, I'm like, oh my god, I hate the background. Or, oh my god, you only sit in this one spot. And because it's true. Mainly it's because the overhead lighting sucks, but we won't go into that, we won't go into that, we won't go into, like, whole setups, things, and all that. We just won't. But I will see you either later or tomorrow. Probably more likely tomorrow. So you're getting this really crappy lighting because I couldn't figure out where to put my ring light that wouldn't just illuminate the bottom half of my face, or just wouldn't work. So you're getting this very crappy thing. I'm literally like kneeling on the floor, and the phone's on my bookshelf. This works for an angle though, if I can figure out the whole ring light situation for future. But I finished Resurrection. I'm giving it 4 stars. My final thoughts are, like, it's enjoyable. It's like a wild ride, but it's fun, and honestly, like, that's kind of what I need. I've literally already, if you could see my iPad illuminated right there, that's me on the Kindle app with book 2 loaded, about to start. Because that cliffhanger, oh my gosh. I physically won't be able to go to sleep until I read it. It's so intense. I don't want to spoil it. I think this entire vlog has just turned into me reading the Sainthood series by Siobhan Davis, because I have a plan that if I spend from now until the 12th just reading this whole series, and then I have a plan for the rest of my TBR for the month that I would get every single book but one read. Which I'm fine with. Even though that means I pretty much have, if math works correctly, I think I have 7 books a week. Wish me luck. But I'm going to go and read book 2, which is Rebellion. And I will see you in the morning. And also let me know how you like this angle. Obviously the lighting is crap. I will see if I can enhance it a little bit, in the editing process, to see if I can get it a little brighter, but let me know what you like. Okay, so it is 5 p.m. on Wednesday, and I have a little bit to update on. So last night I got up to 42% of Rebellion, and I'm really enjoying it. I just wanted to keep on reading it so bad, to the point that I was almost just gonna stay up and finish it all night, but I knew that would be a bad idea, so I didn't. Being smart for once, even though I did stay up till 1 a.m. reading it. We're not going there. And then today I have been doing schoolwork, and I have an assignment that I'm doing. Itchy nose too, apparently. An assignment that I'm doing that frustrated me and almost made me cry, but I didn't cry because of it. We're growing. Normally I'd allow myself to just sob all day because of something being frustrated, but I'm gonna finish Legendary. I'm staring at that book like it's the death in me. I'm gonna finish that book. I probably won't update until I finish that book, solely because it will give me an incentive to finish the book so I can update the vlog. Okay, so I took a nice relaxing bath, which is something I haven't done in a while. Most of the time I just take quick showers. So that was fun. And then I finished Legendary. I'm giving it 3.5 stars, which is awful because I gave the first book 5 stars and I really loved it. But Legendary is only 3.5 stars because as much as I like the characters, a lot of the plot just felt all over the place and kind of almost here are all the boxes we have to check, we're just going to check them randomly. Also, the reveal of who Legend actually is, I honestly, I honestly hate's a strong word, I slightly dislike who it is revealed that Legend actually is, solely because of, I guessed it. I think I said at the end of Caraval of, okay, here are a few people that I have suspected, and the person that actually was, actually is Legend was, number 1 in the list, which I honestly, I didn't want. And and that's not really the deal breaker. That's not what made me dislike this book or anything. I also just for example, there were so many times that I just didn't want to pick this book up. I just was do I have to read it? Do I have to finish it? Although I will definitely be reading the finale because, well, I'm 2 books in, might as well finish it. I wish I was like this for other series that I've started. But yeah, I also think that the main reason why I think I want to finish this series off is because I want to read Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I don't know which book in this series that contains spoilers for, but there's a spoiler because Jax is in the book. And who is my favorite character? I love him to bits and pieces. He's evil for the sake of being evil. He's kind of manipulative and all that. I mean, he's the Prince of Hearts. He breaks hearts. He hates people and all of that. But yeah, 3.5 stars. I'll probably be reading finale in March, and yeah. now to go and read more of Rebellion, because I honestly just want to like read that. I'll probably finish it tonight because my goal is to have the entire series done before Saturday. And that is still the 58% of Rebellion, all of Reign, and then all of Reverie, which is then like novella, because it's a 3-book series, and then there's like an extended novella that's like 100 pages. And so I kind of I've read book 1. I'm halfway through book 2, and I've book 3, and then the novella to read. And honestly, I'm enjoying the series so much, so like, I'm pretty sure that will be more than doable, because I'll probably finish Rebellion and then probably maybe read the first couple chapters of Reign tonight, because it's only like 7:30, so who knows. So it's 8:42, and I just forgot to update today. I've just kind of had like a lazy day, or at least what I've tried to consider a lazy day. Last night I finished Rebellion. I'm giving it 4 stars. I don't really have much to say on it, like, things are fucked up, but we're learning more about specifically the guys' backstory, and like, because in the first book, you didn't know much, like, you kind of knew, like, oh, they're part of the Sainthood, but for what reason? Obviously, Saint makes sense because of his father being the leader, kind of same with Galen because his uncle is the leader. But then the other two, you kind of just are like, how the fuck did you get there? Like, why are you there? And then you kind of learn that a bit, and I'm just enjoying it. I read the first, like, 2 chapters of Reign, which is the 3rd book, but then I kind of started to get a headache, so then I went to sleep. So today I also started Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rodgerson. My dust jacket has a slit in it, and yeah, so anytime I'm talking about this book, I will be holding up this dust jacket, because, well, that's what the dust jacket is. Am I holding it the right way? Yep. And it has black, self-done sprayed edges. I, one day randomly last year, was like, I want to spray edges. Or was it the year before that? I don't even know when it was. Maybe 2020. I decided I wanted to spray edges. I picked a book that I had read and enjoyed, and I knew I'd want to keep, but wouldn't be mad if I fucked up. Sorcery of Thorns is a reread for me. I read it in, I don't remember. Let me just quickly check. I want to say March of 2020. I know it was 2020, but when actually was it? It was March of 2020. I did get that right. So it's a reread for me. I read it almost 2 years ago, and I have honestly been meaning to reread it, but I just, like, it never happened. And then for one of the prompts for Fabelin was read a bookish book, and this, essentially, we have Elizabeth, who ends up being a kind of pre-apprentice at this library. In this world, there are these things, there are these grimoires that essentially can turn into these things called malefics, which essentially are like monsters, and the more powerful the grimoire, the more powerful the monster, and these, like, monsters happen when the grimoires break or are damaged. And Elizabeth is at this library, and a grimoire turns into a malefic, killing the director of the library, and Elizabeth gets blamed for the reason that the grimoire turned into a malefic, the director's death, and overall just all of that. And then she gets put into the hand of a sorcerer named Nathaniel Thorn, who is like a sorcerer, because we have sorcerers that use these grimoires. And yeah, I'm 72 pages into this, and I honestly, this is reading a lot faster than I remember. Like, I only read this for maybe, 72 pages, maybe in like 45 minutes-ish, which is fairly, like, good. Like 45, 50 minutes, it was less than an hour at least. But even then, 72 pages, and let's just say an hour to round it up, is really good. I'm really enjoying this. I forgot how much I liked this book. It still probably won't be more than that 4 stars, because of just, like, it does feel a little bit rushed at the beginning, but yeah, I'm enjoying this. But I am going to crawl into bed now and read Reign, and I will see you sometime tomorrow. I hope to do it in the morning because I have a dentist appointment in the morning, so I'm hoping as soon as I get back from the dentist, I will update the vlog. Fingers crossed. Okay, so it's 1 p.m., which is way better than my typical, like, 5 p.m., 9 p.m., whatever time. But to be fair, I got back, like, half an hour ago, and I feel like my brain is still, like, running on, like, we're downtown, you got, like, that kind of mode, I guess. Like, when I'm downtown, my brain goes into a different mode, and just, like, all that anxiety things. But last night, I made it to 62% of Rain by Siobhan Davis, and this is the book that I have the most opinions on. I will do an overall at the end of this vlog, just my overall thoughts of the series once I complete it in whole. But I feel like things are dragging on a little bit too much. This is an almost 500-page book. I feel like already, like last night, I said I wanted to get to 60%. I had to force myself to get to that point. It wasn't that I'm not enjoying it, it's just for a good chunk of it, it almost just felt like we're like, not repeating, but we're dragging things on a little bit too much. And that's, I think, like this, I gave the first two 4 stars. I think this one, at the point that we're at now, is like a 3.5 if we're stretching it. There are like things that I'm just like, I don't know how I feel about it. And I will say that obviously could change with the ending, and like I'm still enjoying it, like do not get me wrong, but like it's not gonna be a favorite. It's one I don't want to say I'd never reread it, but based on where I'm at now, I don't think I would, which is like fine. There's a lot of the Reverse Harem series that I've read that I would never reread. Like, yeah, I'm just kind of like up in the air with how I feel. But today the plan is I went to the dentist and I have like 4 small cavities. I'm very bad at brushing my teeth. We're gonna move on. And then like today's plan is just I need to edit part of my vlog because I'm not gonna be able to do it tomorrow, and then I'm not gonna be able to do it Sunday much. So I want to get like a little head start on that. Schoolwork, although I'm just like, I'm tired. So I don't know how much of that I'll get done. And then that's pretty much it. I'm not filming a video this week because I'm doing a live tomorrow. I'm doing my first ever reading sprints tomorrow, which I'm so excited. I'm so excited about. So yeah, that's kind of today's plan, I guess. Okay, so it is 7:45 and I've done literally nothing since the last clip. I feel like I didn't do any of my schoolwork. I just mentally, like today, I've just been like exhausted. And I'm not really sure why, but I just was like, okay, fine, we'll just take a day off to do whatever I want to do and all that. And that was mainly like scrolling through Pinterest and pinning some pins for one of my stories, finishing the like a read through draft for one of my books, like that I'm writing, and that's basically it. I did put a load of laundry in. That's also what I did. But I made it to page 220 of Sorcery of Thorns. Is that the right way? Yeah, that is the right way. And I'm still enjoying it. Like, obviously this is a reread. I'm still very much enjoying it, and I'm very glad I'm doing a reread of it. This is a very quick read. I mean, as I read like 150 pages, and I only started reading it reading around like 5:30, so in like 2 hours. That is pretty good. But yeah, I did also edit. I just randomly saw like up above where I'm pointing here, like up above on my screen, the computer's right in front of me, there's the editor thing. I did that. I edited like 5 clips or something. Forgot about that. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I honestly like forgot part of the plot, and we're at the plot that I forgot. I'm like, how much else have I forgotten? Like, I do really like Elizabeth as a character and Nathaniel as like the side character / love interest, although we're not really quite at the love interest point yet. That doesn't happen for another 50-ish pages, maybe, is my guess. I honestly don't remember when it switches to like actually being a love interest, like, and it actually being like kind of like double-sided, like not just one-sided type thing. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this, and I'm gonna try to get it finished in my sprints tomorrow, but it's like 50% of the book. That's like 200 and some pages. Not quite sure that's gonna happen, but we'll see. But I'm going to crawl into bed with the cat that's there. He's literally just been sleeping there for like 2 hours. But I'm going to crawl into bed, finish Rain, and then possibly start Reverie, which is the extended novella. I think it's like 100. I think it's like 112-page novella or something like that, of like an epilogue for the story. Is an epilogue really needed? Probably not. But do I want to read it? Yes. So I'm going to. Also, it's a short book. It counts the Goodreads goal. I'd be ahead for if I fall into a reading slump. But it'll just be like a quick, easy read. So yeah, I might even finish that. I honestly don't know. But I will see you before my sprints, which are very exciting. I'm like very excited. Okay, so it's now, what time is it? It's 11:08. I just had to pop down and look at the iPad for the time. But I finished Rain about half an hour ago, maybe. And I'm giving it 3 stars solely because it constantly felt like a repetition. It became so unhinged towards the end that I just was laughing through everything, and because it was so unrealistic, which obviously, yeah, the whole series has been unrealistic so far, but I was just like, literally, what else is gonna happen? Like, it was just so insane, so unhinged. And then also one thing that just like, it slightly disappointed me, and I will say mild spoilers for the series. Here I will do an entire talking about the thing more in a little bit here. But the whole like Kaz and Theo thing could have been handled in such a better way, and then also for the readers, it was almost like my analogy. This was my analogy that I made up, is we were given all of the ingredients to make a cake, but we were given a singular cupcake instead. You can take that analogy however you will. If you know what I'm actually referring to, is we're built up to something that just kind of drifted off into like nothing. But then you got a bonus scene that you could do if you signed up for the author's newsletter. So of course my dumbass signed up for the author's newsletter to get that bonus scene. And even then it was like, this is what I wanted, but in the main story. So I'm a little salty about that, but I am going to be reading Reverie. I'm going to start that right now. It shouldn't take me that long because it's only, I think Goodreads and Amazon says it's like 116 pages, so we're going to go with 116 pages. Is it actually that? I don't know. But I'm going to read that and like finish off this series, and like this series is one that I was saying to myself earlier. It was like, even though I started this series on Sunday, it feels like I've been reading it for so much longer than I have. And I think it's just because it kind of drags on towards the end that you're just like, can this be over with? Because it feels like you've been reading it for longer than you should have, if that makes any sense. But I'm going to go read Reverie, and then in the morning I will say my thoughts on Reverie and then my entire thoughts on the series and give like an overall view of the series, I guess. Oh my god, I just did my live and I hit 100 subscribers while on the live. Oh my gosh, like thank you Kelsey for pointing that out. I would not have seen it till the end of the live. So thank you, and I'm pretty positive you're watching this. If not, I feel very awkward. But yeah, I did my first ever reading sprints. It was so much fun. We ended up going for like 4.5 hours. That was way more than I intended to, but I had so much fun. And yeah, I want to now, brain, calm the fuck down. I want to talk about Reverie for a second before I go on a rant of how grateful I am, because I am so grateful for 100 subscribers. I never thought I would have hit it, let alone the day before my birthday on my first sprints, like live. That I think I jokingly said that. I was like, haha, what if I hit 100 subscribers on my live? Not thinking it would happen. Oh my gosh. But Reverie, I'm giving 2 stars. I hated it. I read it totally out of spite. and I want to scrub my brain from reading it. I think it is one of the worst books I've read this year, solely because it literally is so focused on one thing and that one thing only, and I don't like it. So I'm going to do a recap of the series, my thoughts and all that, and then kind of go into details and spoilers. So obviously I gave Resurrection 4-star, Rebellion 4-star, Reign 3-star, and Reverie 2-star. Overall, I'd give this series probably like a 3-star rating. Like, it's good, not amazing, definitely not a favorite, probably won't reread it, but I've already mentioned that. Now, on to like, these aren't going to be like huge spoilers, I'm not going to go into every single thing with the plot. Obviously, I don't have the time, but genuinely, this book was a wild ride. Like, this series was a wild ride to read because of how crazy and wild and unrealistic the plot was. Obviously, it's about this gang, and there's like the dynamics in the the dynamics in the gang, and just how crazy and wild and stupid it is. There are definitely topics that weren't done in the right way, as like, for example, like not weren't done in the right way, but almost were dealt with in the wrong way. One of those is drug addiction, of how the main character of Harlow, it kind of is almost like she almost acts like she's superior to those that are in addiction, because she says things of like Gallon's mom is a addict, and she does say multiple things of like Harlow does say multiple things, or thinks multiple things of like, I could never be like that, I could never do that. And the thing is, you never think you can become an addict until you are one. And feeling superior to those that have fallen to addiction is very crappy. I know people that had addictions and thankfully were able to overcome them and move on to have a good life. But just because somebody's an addict doesn't make them worse than you, doesn't make them a lesser person. And I feel like that was horribly done, as well as also the domestic violence that is in this book. Harlow's mom she's a part of an abusive relationship that the mom knows that it's an abusive relationship, and is only in that to, in theory, kind of like save Harlow from experiencing that abuse. But I feel like Harlow wasn't almost appreciative of her mother for that. And not that I'm saying like that should have been done that way, but I feel like almost like Harlow should have realized it was the abuse and confronted her mom sooner than she did. It is like revealed why the abuse was allowed to happen and all of that, but even then it was almost too late for me to care. There is the whole thing with Theo and essentially being, as like my brain puts it, is like gay but besides for Harlow. And I'm like, not that I don't like that, like obviously give me a little bit of like, give me a queer character, I'm not gonna complain, but I feel like I think I mentioned this last night, but like the dynamic between Theo and Kaz in the book could have been handled a little bit better, and the way that it was teased and teased and teased and then didn't happen really, it did kind of almost be like, so like we went through this whole thing for nothing, like we went through the drama for literally nothing. And not that I'm saying that like it shouldn't have been in there, but we went through it for nothing. I do like Harlow as a character. She's a badass. Nothing really there. I think I do really like Harlow as a character because of just, she almost doesn't let people tell her shit. She does what she wants, and I do enjoy that. I do also like the guys. I think my favorite, honestly, I think my favorite is Kaz, solely because I feel like he's the funny one of the group, the one that like always like is just trying to make people laugh and does and like jokes on things. And also I don't know, like it's weird of like I like the characters but I don't love them. Oh my god, there was a fucking plot twist that literally was so unhinged. I like was laughing so much. So there's literally like, it's a whole thing with the character of like Saint, his mom, and like who his mom is, because he didn't know who his mom was. He thought his mom was just somebody that left him with his dad, but in reality his mom was killed by his father after like he was born. And the things that link back to that, I'm like, literally, why? Like, you could have done it without that. There's so many things that felt like they were repeated and constantly, and honestly, the last like 40% of Reign, I was just like, I'm just finishing this for the sake of finishing this, in all honesty. I feel like that's most of my thoughts, or at least the big ones that I can think of. And also, no, honestly, I'm a fan of sex scenes in books, whatever, but I feel like by the time I got to like the middle of Reign, I was like, okay, yeah, we're going through the motions, just do it, yep, they're doing it, and it kind of like lost meaning. I was just like, okay, yeah, moving on. Versus the beginning of the book, I was like, ooh, like, get what I'm kind of saying? Like, you understand what I'm saying? It almost felt like there was too much sex in the book, which is something, I've read a book that has had sex in every single goddamn chapter, and that was better for the sex-wise than this. And it literally almost felt like every other chapter there was sex just for the sake of sex. Now I think that is literally all my thoughts. My brain is still running a million miles an hour about the subscriber thing. I also, in my sprints, did make it to page 416 of Sorcery of Thorns, and I think I'm going to call it a day for that, although I do literally have like 30 pages. Yeah, I have like 40 pages, I guess, left, but I think I will just finish this tomorrow and then start another book tomorrow. Like, in all honesty, I'm like, not that I don't want to read it, but I do want to do a few other things before my friend comes over. But I'm going to end this vlog here. I know it's only 3 o'clock on Saturday, but in all honesty, I want to just be able to enjoy my birthday for myself. And then also, I just don't feel comfortable vlogging around my parents or my best friend maybe, but even then, I don't want to force her to. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and bye!